Please be seated. Good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you today? Good. How am I today? Today, sleepy. Yeah. On the internet, sometimes you see this phrase, right? They say like, Tom usually don't do something, but when he does, like Tom usually don't eat pizza, but when he does, he eat 3 pizza. So Sifu usually don't take nap. When he take nap, he over nap. Yeah, I'm serious. There's no denial. Yeah, I'm serious. It's one of those days where like, I've most of the things sorted out today, Like sometime, a bit of ache here. Maybe I should rest a bit, before I fall sick. I just lie down a bit and this is pretty good, Wow. Oh, before you know it, I was having dreams and stuff. Yeah. I don't know how many times they called me. Yeah, but finally, I received a call from Felix. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure, I don't know what I told him actually. But anyway, here I am. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, I usually don't nap. But when I do, wow, it's amazing. Okay, so last week we stopped here after the first 5 consciousness and the 6th consciousness. Today is the 28th, right? Yeah. Okay. So last week we covered up to here, and then we went on to talk about the different consciousness. Yeah. Up to, I think we barely started on the mind consciousness. Yeah. But we did cover it already. Oh. So the first 5 consciousness are all related to the body, based on the eyes, in contact with visible form, then eye consciousness arises. Yeah, the ear, nose, tongue, body, correspondingly, in contact with sound, smell, taste, touch, then give rise to ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness. Yeah. And so the sense consciousness correspond to its respective sense objects, and has the sense object as its object of attention, focus, yeah, and awareness. Some of you sent me questions over the week, pretty interesting questions. There are some questions which I may have replied, some I left it. The reason is because some of the questions involve coming topics, yeah, and some I thought it may benefit the rest to be asked in class. So perhaps you could ask again at the end of the class. Okay? So I've also mentioned that the mind consciousness is very special because it doesn't just has mental object as its object. The mind consciousness, the mind itself is able to discriminate that which is perceived or that which is from the eye, from the ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Yeah, that is apparent to ourselves. Yeah. Before you even learn Buddhism, before you come for this class, I hope your mind was able to go and discriminate what you see. That's what we have always been doing. Yeah, so there's no rocket science here. Yeah, it's not that the Buddha is teaching us something that is beyond what we already know or am aware of. Yeah, but in the past 2 weeks, we would have gone through certain aspects about it where, for example, because it is the mind that is interpreting, so it means that there's an opportunity for us to interpret things differently. Yeah, that what we usually think we interpret or we perceive as what is outside may not be really what is outside. But dependent on what is outside, then we form our perception, which is a combination of what is outside plus what is inside us. Yeah, what is inside us. Yes. That's not to suggest that we are always seeing something that's wrong. Yeah, but that what we perceive is already layered, colored, if you will. Yeah, colored, if you will. There was a question. Let me see. Some students were still unclear about this 心有明义. By now, perhaps most of you who want to have a copy should have gotten a copy of this. Yeah, some of the students who attend the group cultivation, they have very kindly come forward to support the printing, and then so I think they printed 170 copies. Yeah, 170. Yeah, 180. Okay. So I think it should be sufficient for everybody. There's still more outside. Unfortunately, the photocopying machine cannot translate. So it's still Chinese text. So there's this part which they ask, which is what I explained briefly last week, which is why is the mind also known as, or rather why is the heart also known as the mind? 心有明义. Yeah. Because this whole section is the first section of the 5 section. Yeah, the 100 dharmas. Okay, to give some context, we are on this commentary where we are in this process of establishing what are the 100, and then the 100 is first subdivided, categorized, if you will, into 5 sections, starting with the heart. So heart is the generic term, and then we have been going through the very definition of what makes something a heart. Yeah. And so one of the thing is that heart is also known as mind. Yeah. Heart is also heart is also known as mind. So in this text which I'm using, then it says, 意即思量. Yeah, mind is basically the ability to consider, to ponder, to discriminate, to think. And then what else? 有无间隔的觉知即现思量二义. So there's two broad meaning. One is uninterrupted awareness, and secondly, 现思量, being able to consider, being able to weigh, if you will, what is immediate. So that's the broad definition of what is mind, mana. 无间觉通于诸事. So the first part, which is that uninterrupted awareness, 无间觉通于诸事. Now this part, I realized when the student asked again about this question, this portion perhaps backs a bit of explanation, and is a good example of how I don't always agree word for word with the text. So here, 无间觉通于诸事. 无间觉 means the uninterrupted awareness. 通于诸事 means all the consciousness have this quality. All consciousness have the quality of having uninterrupted awareness. Now for the first five, we can say that as long as it's active, then it has this uninterrupted awareness. But it is not uninterrupted in that sense, because when you fall asleep, then there's no more awareness, isn't it? So we have to put in the caveat that as long as we are awake, then the first five consciousness is so. Then for the sixth consciousness, it also has this feature, and when we are asleep, it can also be active. But for most people, active in a very murky way. So we don't really consider that as awareness as well. The seventh consciousness, which is what we're going to really cover today, is also known as the mind. Because the seventh consciousness, known as mana consciousness, 莫那识, is exactly what it means by mind. Yi is mana. So this can get a bit confusing. This can get a bit confusing. But here it says this is throughout all consciousness. So the mind itself, of course, has that awareness. But later, when I cover mana consciousness, I will share with you the teachings from Mahana Sangraha to weigh in on that. But for the eighth consciousness, again from the Mahana Sangraha, eighth consciousness, is there awareness? That's the question. I want you to put a question mark. So we have 思量. I didn't write down the 无间觉. But I did explain. So So this is uninterrupted awareness. Yeah. So how about 7th and 8th? Okay, put a question mark there first. And because today we're going to just shortly after cover that. Okay? So put a question mark there first. Then the last part of this definition is 现思量为局限于第七识. Yeah. So the ability to discriminate, to directly what do you call that? To so-called weigh and to think, that is limited to number 7. Okay, number 7. Okay, yeah. But here I have a bit of an issue, because number 6 consciousness. Number 6 consciousness. What is its function? Exactly it's the mind consciousness. It is to consider, to weigh. So this is where I have a bit of issue with the text. Yeah. Okay. I recall in 2009 and 2010 when I covered this text. Yeah, there were numerous areas where I share with them that this part I don't really agree. Yeah. So I will still explain what is given by the text, but where I differ, I will highlight so that you know, and then you can decide which one you want to consider. Yeah, that the ability to listen to both and then to consider. That's the 6 consciousness ability. Okay? Yes. So I think 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago, I mentioned about when I first touched the various consciousness. I mentioned about how there are different school of thoughts. One which is the 意识论. Yeah, so the school of one consciousness. So they don't posit so many different consciousness. They just give it the name consciousness and it's doing everything. Okay, got it. Oh. Well, yeah, okay, just because you don't have a problem doesn't make it more correct or wrong. I understand now that your point of distinction is that you don't have a problem. But my point is, but there are those who have no problem with 1 to 5 or so, whether there is or not. My point is that there were already school of thoughts that established that there's one consciousness in charge of everything, and there are those who establish separately that it's actually called eye consciousness, actually called ear consciousness, and so on. Yeah. Is there a 7th consciousness? So let's find out. Let's find out. But the truth is not a populist result. Yeah, it doesn't depend on me to agree with it. It doesn't depend on you or any of us to vote and say, okay, today let's put it to a vote. How many of us agree or not? Yeah, the truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. Yeah, but it's good to challenge the truth and see who is left standing. Let's go to the 6th consciousness now. Yes. Hold that thought. Don't shake your head first. Don't turn your head and then I haven't got a chance to explain because 7 consciousness is behind. You see, 7 consciousness is behind here. So, you all keep asking me things that is not covered here, how to cover. You know, it's like you go to watch Star Wars and then before you finish the, chapter 4, you ask, like, who is Darth Vader? Obi-Wan Kenobi say your father was killed by Darth Vader. Then you are asking in chapter 4, New Hope, to know who is Darth Vader and where is the father. Then George Lucas can just come in the video and say, well, he's Anakin actually. Then it spoils the whole show, So anyway, yes. Okay, so don't worry. Today covering. No, we are here. We are here. So a bit more. Yeah, then here. Yeah, we are here. Yeah. Luke Skywalker with Obi-Wan Kenobi, then flying, then get stuck, then escape, then okay. Oh, this is my father. Okay. Okay. Yes, Lai. What is the question next one? Forgot your question, is it? Yes. 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 About 2 or 3 lessons ago, our sister asked this question also. Yeah. Then I think I gave you all an exercise, remember? Was it last week or last week? About how, last week, when we go back home, to give yourself a challenge, whatever food comes your way, to try it. Remember? The exercise. Very simple exercise. I think it's doable by most people. Unless you have food allergy, or if you are on medication, then you have to be selective with your food. In which case, it's not about your choice. Sometimes, if you have medical conditions, the choice of food that you have to eat may not be what you like anyway. So, either way, make sure you keep yourself healthy. But where you can, my suggestion was to challenge yourself. And I share with you all what I did myself. On my own accord, that just came to me like, why should I be so picky about food? Whatever comes my way. Because that's exactly what happened to me during the retreat. For the longest time, I was not a fan of celery. You know celery? Not somebody's name. You know the food. So it has this kick to it. You either love it or hate it kind of kick. The kind of it has that smell, right? So for the longest time, I was like, So during the retreat, the novice retreat I attended, the first one I attended, there was that celery. But I guess because of the retreat, the teachings and everything, and the moment I saw it and there was that response, I was like, I caught myself. Then I ate it, but I didn't just go like, usually when it's food you don't like, you either eat it first or last. You see, I know because that's what I used to do. You either eat it first, you like, okay, done. Then you enjoy the meal, Or you enjoy the meal, then the last part. That's what we usually do. Starting from when we are kids. Yes. That's true. That's true. That's true. So sometimes in life, when we have no choice, it is a good chance for us to cultivate. Because when you have a choice, there's nothing wrong to choose. But what happens when you don't have a choice? So the point was not to simply force yourself to eat what you don't like or whatever, but to experience it. And then to observe yourself, what is exactly this tongue consciousness telling you. You can call it mind consciousness for all I care. Okay? But the key thing is, with this delineation, then we have something to talk about, specifically, about the tongue. So you could also say, let's ignore all the different consciousness, and let's just say consciousness that is arising on the tongue, or consciousness arising due to the tongue. But that's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. So to me, it's more out of it's like a specialization that allows you to understand more specifically. Yeah. So in this case, specific to the tongue consciousness, if you observe the actual eating process, there are all kinds of tastes that arise. Yeah. But if you are to eat it mindfully, and again I must highlight, short of having an allergic reaction, even food that you don't like, whether out of the taste or the texture, oftentimes, if you were to really consciously, mindfully go and eat it, you'll find that the taste is just the taste. Yeah, whatever dislike comes after that, after the taste. At least that's what I observe. And I've shared this with many students, and some of them, not all, yeah, have come back to me that that's similar to what they observe as well. Yeah. So if you can do that, then that gives you a very direct approach to revisiting the simple experience of eating. Yeah, and this is not about some theory that you have to force yourself. This is just observing directly what is happening at the consciousness level. So to me, I shared about how this is one direct application of learning more about the consciousness. Hold that question so that I can continue to the part where they go to the Tatooine bar, and then so that we can find out who Luke Skywalker's dad is. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, just hold that thought first. Yeah. So, 意识. Okay, let's see. Mind consciousness. Today we are going to talk about mind consciousness, and we should be able to talk about also the seven consciousness. Today is the 28th. Yeah, 28th. So, 意识 is basically the mind consciousness. The mind consciousness depends on the mind. 意根. The mind sense base. So, the word sense base, the mind sense base, I've ever encountered some students who was quite surprised, because in the normal usage of the word senses, it usually refers to the first five: eye, ears, nose, tongue, body. Okay? Yeah, in normal usage, outside of Buddhism, when we talk about our senses, it usually refers to our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the body. The mind is excluded. And that is why when we talk about sixth sense, okay? Sixth sense. What does sixth sense refer to? Okay, yeah, in Buddhism we refer to the mind. Very good. Yeah, in the rest of the world, they refer to ESP. remember how in normal world, for the rest of the world, sometimes I realize that the rest of the world really don't have any idea what you're talking about. When you talk about sixth sense, there's even this show by Bruce Willis, Sixth Sense. When I saw the show, I saw this title, Sixth Sense. Oh, that's interesting. But that's because for the rest of the world, there's only 5 known senses: eye, ears, nose, tongue, body. But the Buddha, when he referred to the number 6th sense, he was referring to the mind. And that was way before ESP, the term ESP came about. So that's the first thing to take note. The other thing to take note is sense basis is also given another name. Liu Gen is also given another name, Liu Gen Men. Gen, and then Gen Men. So usually, Liu Gen Men, 6 sense doors. In the movies, we often hear the monks would declare, 平生六根清净，四大皆空。They must say with an accent. 六根清净，四大皆空。steady 啊，开玩笑，要不要而已。But sometimes it's like, if you speak that way, who is going to understand you, But when people come to religion, they like it, then they feel like, wow, it's so mystical. So anyway, the sense basis is also known as sense doors. The Buddha described it that it is like how with a door you can have things go through it. You can have things go through it. And the 6 sense doors is the doorway through which this will enter our mind. In the sutra, he gave the analogy on guarding the sense doors. Guarding the sense doors. So sometimes you may have seen this picture of the monkey, and the other day I saw it on my Buddha Vachana. I was quite surprised. I think I have to go and find another picture to put there. Because the picture usually depicts the monkey doing this: see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. It's so common, and oftentimes people may think of it as a representation of what cultivation is. But the Buddha don't advise his disciples to go around like this. He says, guard your sense doors. He never say block your sense doors. What is the difference? What is the difference? When we say guard your sense doors versus blocking your sense doors, he used this analogy. He didn't use monkeys, okay? He used monkeys in other analogy, describing the 12 links, where the last part, the clinging onto, the craving onto, from one branch to another branch. He used this to describe clinging. But for sense doors, guarding, he used the analogy of a city. And he says, imagine a city watchman. If he were to try to protect the city, he could keep on running around the city to make sure it's safe, that there's no enemy inside. Or he could make sure that there's sufficient walls, and then just stand watch over the city gate. Such that, and then be vigilant. Be watchful. Be mindful, if you will. And then, in this way, to make sure that anybody who enters the city, passing through the city gates, would come under his watchful eyes. In such a way, then the analogy goes, or metaphor if you will, describes that even if a small rat should come in the city, the watchman would know. In this way, if there's any characters that is harmful to the city, he would immediately know and he can apprehend them and drive them out. This is what he described as a parable or a metaphor on how a person, his disciples, should guard the senses. In other words, it's not to block it and don't see anything, but it is that whatever you see, you have to consider, when I see this, does it bring about a rise in greed, a rise in hatred, a rise in delusion? If it does, and I cannot overcome it yet, then I better shift my attention somewhere else. Yeah, but it's not an escapist approach. Escapist is to keep on doing this. Yeah, escapists don't do anything else but just keep running away. Yeah, the Buddha's advice is not an escapist advice. Okay, his advice is that you should check what can give rise to defilements, unwholesome thoughts, evil thoughts, and what will not. Yeah. At the later stage, this is the very early stage of cultivation. At the later stage, then it is no longer about guarding. It is that whatever comes across, then you should be having direct seeing. Yeah, to see with non-attachment. Yeah, so it's a gradual path. Yeah. At the onset, if we ask you immediately, whatever you see, have non-attachment. Let go. Who can do it? Isn't it? So the initial stage is at least learn to be discerning in what you pay attention to. Yeah. Yes, we are trying to cultivate such that we can resist, such that we can remain unmoved, whatever comes. But if you still cannot handle it, why keep on going, looking at it? You know that you see this, you utsu, then you still keep staring at it. You are asking for it, isn't it? So, this is some other things I want to cover on the sense basis. So, how about the mind consciousness and the mind sense base? So, typically for the mind sense base, we can also refer to this as just the mind. Okay? Just the mind. So, the mind consciousness depends on mind together with mental objects, and then consciousness arise. When consciousness together with these two, okay, this is the object, and this is the sense base, and this is the consciousness. Together, then it also gives rise to contact. Mental objects here includes whatever arises in the mind when we see. So visible form arises in our mind as mental objects also. Yeah, and that is how the mind itself can take visible form, the datum from the eye consciousness, datum from the ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, yeah, and then interpret, label, form perception, think, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, but there's more. Let's look at the text. There are some students who suggest whether I can actually flash the text and then explain so that there's something for you to see. Yeah, I have not been doing that, but only occasionally, because I was concerned whether it is more disruptive. But so I thought maybe I can try that, Yeah, I mean, I already give you the text. So if you want to look at the text, it's with you. Yeah, but in case if you, I think this may help, so that you know that I'm looking at this part. I'm explaining this part of the text. Yeah, 明了,意识. So here we are going into the mind consciousness. 一指一根, we have gone through that. 一根即第七摩那. What does this mean? Basically, what I have gone through with you repeatedly already. When we say the mind sense base, it is none other than number 7 mana. In other words, here it is the same thing but given 2 roles. It is the same thing. Yeah, mind is also the 7th consciousness. Okay? Yeah, mind is none other than the 7th consciousness. Our sister asked the question, but why must we establish a separate 7th consciousness? To be honest, if you just look at this commentary directly, in most of the commentarial text, it's not clear. Yeah, because by itself, the definition, you can do the definition without establishing any of this. Yeah, but there is a line of reasoning, including why number 8. Why must there be a number 8? So don't worry, we'll come to that, okay? Here is just to declare. The first stage of wisdom and knowledge. Yeah, just to know that, okay, somebody in the past established this. That the mind, we also give it another name. Just like Janice. Janice, right? Janice Pei, okay. Janice, what does your mother call you? Janice also. How about colleagues? Okay, wrong person. You mean at home they also call you Janice? Nobody call you anything else? They all call you Janice. Things. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, I'm sure some of us when we were young, they don't call us by our name. They call us a Xiao Ming. They call us a boy or a girl. Like in the 80s, like every boy was all a boy. Every girl was all a girl. A boy, all the boys turn around. Who called me? Yeah. I think that in the 70s was when people, the first batch of those who are exposed to English education, English ed, then it was very hip to use English, you know. So a boy, steady. Yeah. So why must we give them a different name? Sometimes there are many reasons. Sometimes just for fun, you know, or sometimes because this person did something special, or this person has some special abilities. So we especially give this person a special name. So just to distinguish that this person have this special ability, we give this person a special name. Or like let's say you don't like a boss, so you call your boss monster. But a boss is not a monster, isn't it? Something like that. Okay. Yeah. So the mind itself, in fact, when we say that is number 7 mana, at this point is still not giving it a special name, you know, because the word mana or mo na, the word mo na, mo na, it basically means mana, which is basically mind. Yeah, it is basically mind. Yeah. So there's this question of, okay, so mind. So that's already the mind, then number 7 also mind. Yeah. Yeah. So it is said that the number 7 consciousness, to distinguish from to distinguish its role as number 7, then is written differently. So for example, when we talk about sense bases, we always talk about 一根. Yeah. But when we talk about this same thing, this is basically mana. Okay? But when we talk about it as in its function as number 7 consciousness, then we call it 7 consciousness, mana consciousness. So, for example, who am I? I'm a monk, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a human being. To my mother is what ye kia. Yeah, but besides being a monk, I also function as a shifu to some people. Yeah. To some other people, I'm not a shifu. I'm just another fa shi. Yeah. But of course, there are differences. Yeah, there are actually differences between calling someone shifu versus fa shi. Yeah. If the person is your qing jiao shi, yeah, that someone you have taken the refuge under, or let's say precepts under, or someone whom you are learning directly under, then the right thing is to call shifu. Yeah. But side note, shi fu, this fu, this fu, not the other one, not this one. This one is 指甲 here. 师傅指甲师傅谢高. This just means, this 师傅 just means, it's also not wrong in a way. It just means that he's a professional. Yeah, he's a professor. Okay? Yeah, professional. But this is that this professional, this teacher is like your father. Search yourself. You know it to be true that I'm your father. Hey, Jialat, we are doing recording, Oh boy. Wow. If my sifu ever look at the video, he'll be like, what is this Chuan doing? Yeah. Now I know why people come to his class. Come to Qiu Qiu Jie. Okay. So the mind sense base is basically the number 7 mana. Okay? You can also do it the other way around. 7 consciousness is none other than the mind base, mind sense base. That's it. Okay? Conscious of the mind. The first time you say it, I agree with that. So, yes, yeah. So 7 consciousness, very good. The 7 consciousness is a function of the mind also. Yeah. Okay? Well, but it's... yeah, okay. Well, we yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, it's a good distinction. One is... Oh, then I disagree. No, don't say wrong lah. I disagree. I would say that your first statement, that when we call it consciousness, is basically the function of the sense. Yeah. So in this case, 7 consciousness is another function of the 6. Yeah, another name for it lah, so to speak. Don't worry, coming. So 缘一切法为净. Yuan 一切法为净. So the 6 consciousness can basically 包个了. Okay, 大小通吃 everything. We have explained that already. 生起了别. So this is the first part, which is the same as the rest. All have this 了别. Okay, what is 了别? Bare awareness. The ability to have bare awareness. Just being aware. but not discriminate yet. In this case, number 6 consciousness, the mind consciousness, have this further. 随所依根立名意识. Yeah, so up to here, still haven't mentioned about all those functioning. 随所依根立名意识. So based on its base, then it's called mind consciousness. Okay, mind consciousness. So if you realize this, then mind consciousness, number 7, also mind consciousness. Yeah, but actually, technically, both are mind consciousness. So how? Yeah, but the number 7, when we say mind consciousness, is actually referring to the mind. Okay, but don't worry. Okay, so in terms of this mind consciousness, there is 4 different types. So 明了意识, which is the function where it has clarity, it has awareness and so on. Yeah. Then when we are awake, basically. The second 定中意识 in samadhi. The third one 独散意识. Okay, so there's different types. Then 梦中意识 when we are sleeping. Okay, I'm going to go through the detail now. 明了意识又名无惧意识. So the mind consciousness that is coupled with the first 5 consciousness. The mind consciousness, I repeat, this is the mind consciousness that is coupled with the first 5. The first 5 what? The first 5 consciousness. Yeah. 基于前5世俱时而起的意识. In other words, when the first 5 they arise, any of them arise, this mind consciousness can also be active. Yeah. If this mind consciousness just go and take a look and then okay, not interesting. Yeah, then there's no further activity in that area. Yeah, no further activity in that area. Anytime when the first 5 consciousness arise, the mind will get a WhatsApp. Dong dong. Yeah, and then it can arise together. Yeah. So if when we are asleep, then there's enough trigger, then the mind consciousness get awakened. But other than that, it can be dormant, swimming in its own world. So further, 能助五识升起. It actually don't just arise together. It assists the arising of the 5 consciousness. So over here, I look around. There's no 帅儿. 帅儿. So the term 帅儿 is found in the Yogacara school, and it basically means like this momentary attention. Yeah, that the mind, the 6 consciousness must have a momentary, then decide whether you want to go and give more attention. If it gives more attention, then consciousness arises there. Yeah, if not, then it is as good as bo, smipung bo. So here, for the first 5 consciousness to arise in this text, hang on. In this text, under this definition, the first 5 consciousness require the support of the 6 consciousness. All right, this is the definition given in this text. Not necessarily so in some other of the Yogacara school. Okay, not necessarily so. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Is it fall under this? If we close our eyes, then we think of something, then it's purely the 6 consciousness. Just the 6 conscious. This, yeah. In this case will be number 3. Yeah. Yeah. 独散意识. Yeah. Yeah, no. So it's just the mind, it's just the mind. Okay? So, 由于意识力的导引，五识才能升起. Yeah, so this is basically that because of the role that the mind consciousness play, then the other consciousness can arise. But there are other school of thoughts that says the sixth consciousness is quite independent from the first five. Yeah, that the five consciousness can just fire off by themselves without the sixth consciousness involvement. But the sixth consciousness have the superseding effect. It can come in and check, hey, what is going on? Who is coming in here? It can do that. Okay, so slightly different variation. Okay. That means, if for example you mention Sifu, then I hear it, I just briefly hear it, but I don't pay attention. Then I continue. Then there's no further activity. You may continue to ask your question, but bo. Then you will not get an answer. And all the mothers and fathers experience this with your child. Especially when you ask them to have dinner. And especially when they're at the age where they are busy with their handphone. Then when you talk to them, no awareness. The question, knowing about consciousness, what's the big deal? For me, it can help us to realize that you don't have to take it so personally. That the reason why they don't pay attention to you may not always be that they are trying to be disrespectful to you. It is just that there's something else that captures their mind consciousness. So much that they are like in samadhi. And so, so this one becomes inactive because they are totally absorbed already. Almost like in samadhi. In which case, then you must remove the object of concentration first. Which is what I've been telling some of the parents. But it only works if your child is, let's say, below 14 or 15. Once they cross past 16, you do that, they look at you. Before that, like when they're 9 or 10, you do that, they will cry. That's where you can still and if you don't do that, if when they are 8 or 9, then you have to, boy, I'm not talking to you. Must put away. You want to reason? Hold on, but reason, no. Now I'm not suggesting that it's wrong to reason, but there's a time and place to reason. You reason with people who are reasonable. 道理讲道理很好，但是道理是两个懂道理的人讲的。你跟一个小孩子讲，他不懂道理的吗？你跟他讲了半天，他就是跟你讲歪道理嘛，你就不要跟他讲了，就跟他拿走。This is the advice I give to some parents. They don't no, but 师父不变。They are stuck at the computer. They don't want to move. Just turn off lah. Well, I have my mother and father to thank for this. Because they will really do that. They come in, switch off. Still, boy, what? Initially, one thing good about my parents, they give you warning shots. They'll tell you. If you fail to register warning shots, that's your problem. They give you a warning, okay? But you also have to look at how old the child is. When I reached my mid-20s and when I started work, then they give me a bit more buffer. And they don't pull out my plug anymore. Then my mom is very smart. She go the she will come and then appear very tired. Then, boy, 好困了。老母是 tired 了。老母爱困了，你好困嗬，莫靠我啦嗬。Don't be so late 嗬。Otherwise your own health 嗬。老母擔心嗬。Okay. Then, so you have to appeal to their mind. When they are young, you do this, they don't understand anything about that. the emotion is not fully developed. You try to appeal to the emo, yeah, about filial piety. Then the kid give you an answer, then you kao ICI. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then when they are already in their 20s, and then you still want to, hey, Amado, no, you must. Then what is this? I'm a manager at work. You know, what's the problem with you? You know what I mean? Yeah. So have to use the right approach at the right time, huh? So 由于意识 okay. So 又言等五事不能明了分别 So here 明了分别 So this is the unique part, the 分别 part. So apparently this term here they extend it to the 分别 portion. Yeah. So remember I in all my classes I've always highlighted. I think I should use red color. 明了分别. So the rest are only 了别. Yeah. But this number 6, it can be aware, but it can also discriminate. 分别. Okay. You notice in this note, there's very little English word, only inference here. Yeah, but the reason is because that was a Chinese class. So very, very sinang. Just Chinese, explain Chinese. Okay. This one, I'll translate. So, I've gone through before how the mind can interpret, can discern, can distinguish, discriminate. So this is a very special function. Yeah, and we attribute it to the mind consciousness. 身取所缘之境. Yeah, so deeply grab whatever is its object. Yeah, 而有意识令五识明了身取其相. So here the ability of the sixth consciousness. I'm going to now give you the way I was taught. The way I was taught, sixth consciousness is solely responsible for the interpretation, discrimination, and so on. Yeah, the first 5 consciousness only has bare awareness. Yeah, only have bare awareness. Yes, only bare awareness. The first 5. Sixth consciousness, it can have bare awareness, but on top of that, discriminate. So what if you know this? Well then, if you were to try to do some meditation, in the Yogacara school especially, in all schools, meditation is required for you to go to level 2. Yeah, you have to meditate, yeah, cannot escape. Yeah, if you don't meditate, it becomes whatever you learn is just knowledge. Very interesting for party conversation. Yeah, but to really appreciate the subtle nuances and be convinced. The most important thing, to be convinced yourself. Yeah, because knowledge anyone can read and acquire, Wikipedia, whatever. Yeah, this book, for example, you go and burn it, then drink the water. Yeah, but to be utterly convinced, you must meditate. Okay, and this is especially emphasized in the Yogacara school. Yeah, Yogacara school is not just meditate. No, in the Mahana Sangraha it says, Pusa Yuiting. Yeah, it must be in deep concentration, not just meditate for 15 minutes. No. It's very deep concentration. Yeah, but for start, at least do some meditation. Then you will observe, okay. Even as we sit, or even as we open our eyes, we do interaction. There's this. Your awareness becomes clearer and clearer. Then you start to see that indeed, the moment you come into contact, it is just a bare awareness. And subsequently, then layers after layers of discriminations come about. Layers after layers come about. And if you observe further, you may observe that some of these layers would have triggered past memories. and then taint the subsequent layers. Yeah. And so then when you observe that yourself, then it's very clear what's going on. Yeah. That what we usually perceive as one person is so multi-layered. It's so multi-layered. It's not what we see. Yeah. It's a lot of things coming together. For a start, you may not immediately overcome your defilements, but at least you realize that there is defilements. Then it gives you the impetus, the reason to do something about it. Because otherwise, for some of us, we may get stuck at the, but I'm right, the person is wrong. Yeah. You know, or we may get stuck at the, but I still don't see how that person is this way or that way. Yeah. So that at some point you need to add in the cultivation of mindfulness, to help you progress, or to help you progress. Okay. So the mind up to here. Number B, 定中意识，即与定相与定相应的意识。So the mind consciousness, this is really fine delineation. Yeah, just because it breaks into 4 different parts and give it different name, doesn't mean that jialat, split personality. I have 4 different mind consciousness. No, yeah. This is just to give it more compartmentalization, if you will. Yeah, so that you know that there's these specific functions. In this case, it is that when the mind consciousness arises with respect to the meditation object, yeah, then you give it a different name. But you may still wonder, but why give it so many names? Because this particular mind consciousness has a slightly different feature from the other ones. The first one, it has interaction with the first 5 consciousness. It can have interaction with the first 5 consciousness. Okay? This one, in Samadhi, the first 5 consciousness, again, this part, there is at least 1 or 2 other schools that has slightly different interpretation. But in Yogacara school, we say when we enter Samadhi, then the first 5 consciousness is not active. Yeah. I also have my own gripe about this, which I'll cover later. But first, let's establish the baseline. Okay? So, 定中意识, the mind consciousness within Samadhi. When you're in deep concentration, okay, we give it this name. Mind consciousness within Samadhi. Here it doesn't go into too much other details. It just says, 形象明了, that the feature of your meditation object is clear. Yeah, there's clarity of the meditation object. 能生取所缘, 所缘 referring to the object of meditation. Yeah, you will be familiar if you attend Chinese meditation class, a term called 所缘境. Yeah, are you all familiar? Heard of this? Hmm. 所缘的境界. Yeah, 所缘, 缘 means to that there are many different meaning. Here it means to pay attention, to hold it as an object, yeah, that you focus on. Yeah, 所缘 means that which you are holding on to as an object. Yeah, yeah, you hold on to that as the object of your mind. 所缘的境界. Okay, yeah. So here, when you are meditating, is that true all the time? No. Sometimes when we meditate, you're supposed to meditate on the breath. Your mind think about the meeting you had in the afternoon. Yeah, you think about the report you have to do tomorrow. Yeah, you think about the funny jokes Sifu crack. Then your mind is all over the place. Yeah, so here it's basically about how when you are in concentration, the mind has some features that is different from in the other areas. And what is the difference? That it is clear about the features of the object. And it deeply hold on to this object as, or the item, in this case like breath, yeah, as the object. So the mind is anchored onto it. Okay? Mutually exclusive, meaning when At least A, B, and D is correct. Okay. C itself can cover A. But in a way, it can be exclusive also. Because here is basically talking about the function of the mind co-arising with the first five consciousness. Because after the co-arising, then it goes all over the place, think about things, think about that, then that's under C. Okay? And what is C? 独善意识. Arising independently, but in a state of non-concentration. Non-concentration. So when you are lost in your thoughts, you are unaware of the surrounding also. So it doesn't connect with the first five consciousness, but it also not focused. 独善意识. 独 means alone. 善 means not concentration, not concentrated. So Wilson asked the question. So C is when you are lost in your thoughts, for example, thinking deeply but not focused. Okay. 即普通升起的散乱意识. So day to day, we are always doing this. Waiting for the bus, waiting for the traffic light, going through meeting, people talking, you are actually just lost in your thoughts. Very common. Yes. Yes. This is what in those in computing can often appreciate. Our mind, it appears that when we talk about mind consciousness or mind, it is a SNP. It's a single processor. It's not multiprocessor. But it has, in terms of the other consciousness, then those are micro P. Those are some of the microcontroller. Microcontroller that it cannot do heavy processing. Okay. It is in charge of your keyboard input, a mouse input, but it cannot. It can only receive data and say, okay, there's 1 and 0, 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 1 and 0. But what to do with 1 0? Don't know. Don't know how to interpret it. The main CPU come and process. Okay, this series of 1 and 0. Oh wait, is there another one? Okay, this means move your mouse up a bit. When we meditate more, then you see this slicing a bit clearer. A lot clearer actually. Okay, number 6. Sorry, not 6D. This is number 6D. 梦中意识. So when you are sleeping and having a dream, 这也是独善意识的一种. So C and D has overlap, okay? But give it a special name further because you are in a dream. You're not awake. 因为它的形象这个昧劣. So what is 昧劣? That means it's a bit dull. It's a bit dull. It's not so clear. C, you are still clear. It's just that you're not clear about the surrounding. D, when you're having a dream, you also seems to see and things like that, but it's very dull. Ability to make decisions and so on is very weak. There are those who can do what we call lucid dreaming. But that's the minority. But even for those who do lucid dreaming, as I've explained to Wilson before, it is not with absolute full determination also. Because to begin with, you cannot decide when you want to start the dream. The dream still just start like that. It just start like that. When it wants to start, it start. You cannot say, okay, now I'm not sleeping yet. I go into sleep, and okay, now I'm sleeping, but no dream. Then now I decide to have a dream. Because in a state where you are sleeping without a dream, you are not conscious, so you cannot decide. So the dream state is basically just this faint arising of the mind being active a bit, but not fully awake.
still 梦中意识 ，yeah， 不同于醒悟之时所以别立一个名字so given a different name because it's still different, yeah, although also not concentrated but still different, so give it a special name, yeah. So here further established 后三种都称为独头意识 The last three are all known as 独头意识 single hit. What does it mean? Yeah. So it arises without participation from the first five, yeah, or not in couple with the first five consciousness. Okay? Yeah. 都不与前五识聚起 yeah, doesn't arise together. 唯是意识单独的活动 so this last three refers to the singular activity of the mind consciousness. When the mind is active by itself, then it will fall under one of these three. Yeah. When you are in samadhi, B. Then when you are actually just thinking deeply yourself, yeah, then it's C. Then when you are sleeping, but also thinking. So in Buddhism, it's very simple. When you are having a dream, it's basically the mind active when you are sleeping. That's it. However, in the sutra, the Buddha have mentioned about how there are some dreams where Venerable Ananda had, and then he actually told him what it implies. Yeah. So in most cases, when we have dreams, it is just the mind having a party. Okay. Let me finish up this part and just comments on number 7. Okay, just comments. Otherwise, our Darth Vader and Luke and Anakin Skywalker got problem. Okay, so 散位独头即多少意思So 散位独头 so this last three 即独散意识和梦中意识通比量和非量 so 比量 what is 比量 inference, okay, the ability to infer, and 非量 refers to how also there's 3量okay 3量 okay so 比量 inference 限量 that means you directly you can see directly, yeah, then 非量 is 非比量非限量, yeah, so yeah, okay, 非量 is 比量 is to basically infer, yeah, inference, then 限量 is to see directly, yeah, then 非量 is not inference and not direct seeing, okay. So, in 散位独头 because of the unconcentrated singular activity, 皆有分别 because of that, then there is discrimination. 所以绝非限量 because there's discrimination, then it's not direct seeing. The moment in Yogacara, the moment you have any form of discrimination, it is considered that you are not seeing directly. You are not seeing directly. If you look at the development of Buddhism in China, some of this teaching subtly spread its influence into how we practice in other schools. Like in the Zen tradition, there is the 念头, the 念头 before the 念头, what is going on? Yeah, is somewhat linked to this. Because the moment you have a thought, then it's discrimination. Yeah. So before discrimination. Yeah, before discrimination. Yeah. But I want you to ask yourself this question. Is it true that all discrimination is wrong? And that being the case, the Buddhas, enlightened Bodhisattvas and Arahants, they are said to have this fundamental non-discriminatory wisdom. Does it mean that the Buddhas all just float around without discrimination? Oh. Yeah. I want you to think about it. the hint is that's not true. But question is, how is it not true? Okay, I want you to go back and think about it. Okay. So, 五句意识, so referring to the first one, 具多分说唯是限量. Yeah. So as far as this front part is concerned, yeah, it's linked more to just the bare awareness portion. Yeah, still more the bare awareness portion, but okay. So as a result, it is mostly just direct seeing. Yeah, okay. Then 据实而论，应说通于三量. Yeah, so rightly speaking, this first one, where the mind consciousness arise in tandem with the first five consciousness, actually have inference, have a bit of the seeing directly, yeah, and it also has the one that is neither this or that. Okay. 以五句意识亦有妄执故. Yeah. So why? Because this one, okay, this is still, it still has what? Wrong discrimination. It still has attachment and so on. Yeah. Why is that the case? Our good friend here, mana consciousness. Mana 我那块代志。莫那是，意为染污意。Yeah, so you memorize this 搞掂晒。染污意 ，what is 染污意? Tainted mind. Tainted mind. 意即思量。Yeah, 因为此事。恒与我痴、我见、我慢、我爱是或相应. Yeah. So why? Because this mana consciousness has always been, okay, has always been together with the delusion of a self, the wrong view of an I, the ego of I. Yeah, the craving of I. These four this four uncertainty, or this four wrong seeing, if you will. Yeah. Because the mind has always been resonating with these four. Yeah. 恒审思量第八识的见分, then it become very chim already. 为自内我相，所以名为染污意。So this part, let me explain first. Don't try to ask question. So here we talk about, finally we touch about something crucial, about attachment to the self. But here it says the seven consciousness, mana consciousness, which if you recall is actually referring to the mind. Yeah, it's basically mana. Okay, mona. Then what does it do? It has these four bewilderment, okay, or wrong thinking, and so on. But what else? It holds the eighth consciousness, yeah, forms attachment to it. And what does it do? 恒审思量第八识的见分. So in Buddhism, there's these two terms, 见分 and 相分. 见 and 相. So 见分 here is not about view. Yeah, it is a terminology that you just keep on seeing inside Yogacara school. Yeah, 相分 refers to the feature, yeah, or the function, and then 见分 refers to its essence. Yeah, the body. Yeah, essence of body. Yeah. So number seven consciousness is attached to the essence of it consciousness. Yeah, as what? As me. Yeah, as me. This is me. Yeah, this is who I am. Yeah, but here, so because of this, then we say that it is known as ran wu. It is the tainted mind. In other words, to attach in this way is actually wrong. So far, so good. If you all can understand or can understand this first, then I throw in the spana. Wait, hang on. Just know this part first. Yeah, don't question it first. Okay. I rarely tell you not to question, but this is where I need to ask you. Don't question it first. At least know Yogacara school have this statement. Can? If anyone asks you, what is the relationship between 7th and the 8th consciousness? The model answer. You must at least know the model answer. Leave the dissertation, defend thesis, whatever, later. At least you must correctly say, in the Yogacara school, the 7th consciousness latches onto the 8th consciousness, the essence of it, as self. Okay? This one is by definition. We don't have to agree with it, but this is it. Okay? But 很深适量. Yeah. So very deeply, very deeply. Okay? Very deeply consider and then consider. Yeah? Very deeply consider and attach, yeah, to this 8th consciousness as itself. Okay? As itself. And if you can at least remember this part, okay, for a start, okay? Because if you can accept this part, then I can go on to question this part. Yeah. Last time I used to do this mistake. I just jumped straight into telling you about the question about it, but you don't even know what is it about. So everybody got it? 7 and 8 consciousness relationship. We haven't touched 8 consciousness yet. Okay? But here we have established that number 7, which is basically the mind, is tainted. Okay? It's tainted. Yeah. Why is it? Why do we say that it's tainted? Because it has this wrong view of a self. Yeah. But here in Yogacara school, it says that the mind attaches to the 8th consciousness as self. Yeah. That's all we need to know and to say. This is the standard model answer. And if we are okay, then I throw in the challenge. Because before you attend this class, do you know about the 8th consciousness? So then, how is your mind attached to it without knowing that it exists? See why it's important for me to make sure that you know that this is a statement first. Otherwise, if I throw in both together, you yeah. So I pose this question because in the other commentary that I often mention, Mahana Sangraha, it says that the 8th consciousness is subtle. Yeah, it's so subtle that ordinary folks, unenlightened beings, cannot know its existence. So I pose the question: if you cannot know its existence, then how are you attached to it as self? Yeah, as self. How to be attached to it? Yeah. So there's more to it, Okay, there's more to it. The 8th consciousness we'll cover in due time, but just to give you a brief, the 8th consciousness is responsible for many things, for bring about everything. Yeah, it is also to some people when you hear the description, it is almost like the essence of who we are, because it is responsible for our karma. Yeah, and it is what drives our existence. Yeah, it is what drives our existence. It brings about the ripening of karma, yeah, or of the seeds, yeah, of karma. Yeah. And it is what allows us to plant new seeds. Yeah. And it is also what some people describe as persisting from one life to the other. For most intents and purposes, it in a way serves that function. Yeah. But because of that, then we say, oh, this is my soul, this is my Atman, this is my self. Yeah, this is how it is posited. Yeah, but in the same way, if you ask any kid, do you have a soul? If they have not learned the word soul, they'll be like, soul me. You know, they will say, my leg, there's soul, huh? You know, Yeah, so to me, some of these are human abstraction that we learn and acquire. Yeah. So attachment, there's many layers. Okay? Unfortunately, even those that is human abstraction can affect us, unfortunately, sometimes even more than what we quite intuitively are attached to. Like, you don't need to teach a child about pain, physical pain, yeah, for them to know that there's physical pain. Yeah, when initially they go around, then they go and take something and eat. Yeah, if it's poisonous, they kena. Yeah, if it's fire and they touch, they hurt their hand, they immediately, oh, yeah. If you slap them every day, they don't want to see you. Yeah, you don't have to so-called teach them. But there are many other things that affects us. Those are mental abstraction. Okay, and here there's an element of that also. Yeah, that through countless of lives we have been conditioned in this way, being attached to that. There's some essence in us. Yeah, you want to attribute that essence to eight consciousness, fine. Yeah, but this is the conditioning that we have been going through life after life. Some very strongly, some not so strongly. Yeah, some of us may not be so conditioned to the attachment to some essence within us that we call self, but we are still attached to something and consider that as self. We may consider our title at work as self. We may consider our position in the family as self. Our role as mother as self. And because of that, we get upset over this role. Yeah. When you don't get to play the role you want. Yeah. When your child don't respond to your motherly role or fatherly role. And how do you feel? Okay, sim liang liang. No, we get upset. Yeah, we get affected. No? When we come back next week, we will go further. There's class next week, huh? Okay. Apologize for the late start, so we end a bit later today. 合掌回向，愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛，起立。诸位至诚，礼佛行三问讯礼，问讯，再问讯，三问讯。Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu. And as always, quiet.